It all worked out good, so. Yeah, that's about it. What was it, like one music video and one fingers crossed video. Yeah, there you have it. It is almost too hot out here to do anything. I managed to get some stuff done out in the front here, but and we actually got some beefsteak tomatoes heirloom showing up. So, and I planted some cilantro and just let the soil and then threw some more dirt on top of it. Water it one more time. Meanwhile, this other cinnamon, which I need to check in on, and I have sitting over here in the corner drying out, actually smells like varnish. So I don't know while it was in the garage over there if it just absorbed it or what. Might have made note of it, but I've been waiting for it to dry out as my update. Anyway, and I did try it in the room and it did actually impact the flies. So, and here's the thing. I boil the salt water in the kitchen, for instance, and all the flies run away. And I'm the only guy that doesn't really have a door going on for right now. I do have a blanket I can put down, but I think it's going to suffocate the room right as the way it stands. I will have zero airflow in that bitch, effectively. Actually, I've had it cooler in there with the door half the little sliding door I've made out of the old bed board. And half slide that across, and it just cools the whole place off, creates a natural flow of air. Right now it's wide open just because Francine about frickin' smushed herself jumping on top of it, so I'm going to have to reevaluate the stability of the thing. the joys of pet parenting. Want to give it up for the world. Anyway. But yeah, it's that bad. In fact, what I'm already sweating out of my system is frickin', I know what it is. Exposure to half these, the pollution out here. In fact, that's why I started looking really nice living under the tree. The trees over there. Because, other than a little bit of poison ivy, that's because here's the thing. If you got one method of doing things, and you want to try to integrate new stuff, you have to see how the way you're doing stuff integrates. In other words, the impact the mix might have at that point. That's like I found out the hard way. If I take lion's mane, which is like I lost a pocket, so I lost that. I found out, and I did confirm it, by the way, that basically that lion's mane I could feel every busted area practically regrowing from the biofield alone. If you're not familiar with that concept, that means the brain already has two hemispheres, right? So it's already acting like a magnet. Just like the heart has 4 chambers. And I've tried to touch base on this before. So it's this simple. You have the frontal lobe, which becomes the primary compass, right? That becomes your north. Your perception, all of it, frontal lobe shit. These peripheral lobes, though, they're supposed to be the moderators. Did you know that? It's like the people know how to use their brain as their brain uses them. But neuroscience is just the underlying mythos behind this. Since I've been drawing the brain since I was like kindergarten, from the inside out. Whew. Tell you what. Sorry to disappoint you. That's pure tobacco. Even my wishful thinking went forward on that one. Hey, try this one time. Try this as a social experiment. Give your friend a glass of Sprite, but tell him it's water. I bet it will be the best Sprite they've ever tasted. That's what I call zero to scale. So like I said, over these ages, I've come up with kind of my own little mythos on things. It's like me out here throwing a little bit of the cigarette ash on the floor instead is already making these flies not want to be here. But, I only do so much. That's why the cilantro will already, and mint, but they take a little bit longer, 14 days. It's mid-August, but it's Ohio, so we could have an Indian summer plus. Believe it or not, I can make sure that stuff actually keeps growing and throw some tarps over them and shit. As much as I give a damn. I'll find window pane glass and make little mini greenhouses. I've even got, I'm already starting up the compost with the coffee grounds and eggshells. That's why I'm starting to save the egg containers. Although I prefer although for the indoor grow that I want to do, actually transplant those is good in the styrofoam. But if I want to just take the roots in a bundle and put them in there like a little dink and transplant them like that instead of pulling them out, then the cardboard egg cartons are better. How's it going? Look what I've done up here. Look, we got the tomatoes already going. The tomatoes, and I planted cilantro today. Oh yeah.
Good, thank you.
Hell, I ran into Shelly too. She's like, she couldn't believe what the heck happened. The place is looking. Look what I had to do to fix my guitar, though. I got to spot glue it. It snapped out of nowhere, but it's okay. You know why? Because it's a work in progress. It's an art piece itself. Oh yeah, I know that. My friends on that, what's the fucking? She's attuned with things, so sometimes she rides the entirety of everything. Let's put it that way, It's philosophically said. So it's a good way to put it. But yeah. So that's basically my little plans. That's why I'm going to keep planting. I got to refill this water thing a little bit more, but it's hot as a kid out here. But go figure. So, whole thing makes me have to probably go grab one of the government phones just to goddamn have a secondary system going. But go figure. It's all about the camera angle. Serious face. But sincerity is what makes it serious. Anyway, no reason no way, but that's what I go do today. So I don't know. That's why I've been throwing that idea back and forth. That's why I said, shit. Technically, I take care of what, just a month and a half worth of paperwork. Not even like to get my driver's license will take what, 2 weeks basically. That's hoping I don't have to freaking expedite my birth certificate. In case I might have to wait till next month. I'll have to double check what I need. In other words, if I do that way, it's still circumnavigating half the system just so I have an active driver's license so I can actually get back on the road properly, get a vehicle properly registered, get some minimal insurance on the bitch. And then I have to turn around and change it all up after I get basically... I got some ideas on where to go. And I'm not telling anyone. In fact, I'm still waiting for a few people to come up on a vehicle too. Because I can basically get this done halfway here between Toledo and the Social Security shit. And get everything completely back on my dang express card, direct express card, which is still technically an open account, since the shit was stolen in defiance, Like, I'm gonna zoom into my eye. No. Like, how crazy is it? This is why I was even freaking on Facebook. Like, what should I do about these fools? How crazy should I act for them? Should I just scale them with paperwork, or just pop out with a Nerf gun or a water gun? Yes, a water gun. Yeah, I could probably do something worse than LSD, let me put it there. Just with plants. Are you sure that's water?
Thank you for the sun, all I say is thank you.
Yeah. Hey Zed, where'd you get that water from? Did you actually still leave that? Or is that new? Turmeric and cream. That'll gunk everything up. Cayenne pepper. Maybe I can make it like some hot pepper tea. Like red cayenne pepper and red bell pepper, crushed red pepper tea, heavily distilled in a super soaker. It just could be. Barely unlawful, but America might say that's cruel and unusual. But Zed, that's cruel and unusual. Should I use sativa instead? It depends on who's asking. Just have some sativa Dictorum. Go meet the green lady real quick. Lady of the lake. Or you can go pop some of them DMTs and go meet some of us clockwork elves, What keeps pissing me off is like I keep having some original idea where I might as well be like, here's some crazy esoteric shit of ghost hunting in the land of nothing. There's nothing here. Everybody's dead already. And you don't believe me. Pretty fucking dead looking, ain't it? Yeah, well, it's just a sample of the world I live in. You know, King Zero in my land of nothing. In fact, I can jam out to that right now. Yeah, it's been a minute since I heard of that one. So, maybe 555, then 666.